Hi everybody, it's Rick Taylor from Canadian Eco Products and Separett Canada, and we're here today with the brand new Separett Tiny Toilet. We're gonna unbox it and see all the parts that it comes with and just go through the Tiny Toilet and all the benefits that it's gonna bring to us. So let's get started. So I've taken it out of the box, and the first thing you see is this template. And it gives you two options. You can either use the template against the back wall, where it'll allow you to cut holes for the venting and the urine hose if you're using the external urine hose. And it also allows you to vent through the floor. If you're in a yurt where you don't want to go through the horsehair wall, this allows you to go through the floor and out for the venting. So the template does both wall and floor. Also included is their little welcome to the Separett family and a great pack of installation materials and user manuals. They're quite large and they come in multiple languages and give you all the details of how to use the toilet, as well as quite an extensive installation manual that tells you how to install it. So that's included as well. So when we open up the toilet, we get all kinds of other goodies. You get a sample pack that gives you the bags, absorb pad, and little bio tabs. And we'll go into those in a little bit later. You also get the flapper that hides the solids, a solids container lid. You get the solids container itself, and a kit with all the other parts that you could use for the installation. We'll go through each of those individually. And last but not least, you've got the actual urine tank. So let's check these parts out and we'll go through them one by one. So we've unboxed the Tiny and we have all the parts laid out here, and we're gonna just go through each one by one and tell you exactly what it's for. So first off, we've got the solids container. This is what handles your feces, and it also comes with a lid so that when you're emptying it and pulling it out, you can cover it so you don't have to have a face full of solids in your face. And so that comes off. It also has a rim that secures the bag so that the bag doesn't flop around inside. And it also has a handy yellow strap that allows you to pull it out and put it back in without actually having to touch anything, and just makes it that much easier. So with this one here, it also comes with your compostable bags. These bags are made of cornstarch and are compostable. So you would just put the bag in like so, make sure it's over the rim, use your clip-on, and away you go. So that is now ready to go into the toilet and handle the feces. You'll also notice that all of the parts that you should be touching are in yellow. So whether it's the clip-on rim holder, whether it's the handle on the urine, they're all yellow, and that tells you that yes, that's something that you should be handling. So here we have the lid, and that's your solids container. With this particular unit, you also have the internal urine tank. So this unit can be totally self-contained, perfect for boat houses, RVs, tiny houses, anywhere where you don't have access to external drainage for the urine. So the beauty of this one is it does come with your caps as well, and spots to actually hold the cap so you don't lose them. So you have one cap here that seals your emptying spout, and you have one cap here that covers the internal inlet for the urine when it comes from the actual urinal area. So those two are also included and make for easy use of the tank. Of course, you've got a great handle here that allows you to pull it out of the toilet very easily. And the container here is about 7.1 liters, which is good for about 25 to 30 Ps. The other nice thing about this is it also does have a sensor. So that sensor is linked up with the light back here on the toilet. And what that does is when that gets within about 2 Ps, that will light this light up and let you know that you're coming to the end of the capacity of this urine tank. So a really nice feature, because I know in some of the other ones that have that, there is no indicator, and so you can get some overflow. The next thing that comes with it is your screen that hides the feces in the container. And that is what opens automatically when you sit down on the toilet, and it just swings out of the way and allows the solids to go into the container. Okay, so that's one of the things. And then you also get the filter, and this filter will just filter any lint from the toilet paper from getting into the fan. And it's a little different. This actually goes into the bottom of the flapper valve, and it just slips in there and then snaps in, and away you go. So that's how easy it is, and that's ready to get installed into the toilet. The other things that you get with it, you've got 3 very heavy-duty mounting screws, and that allows you to mount the toilet to the floor. And there's holes in the bottom of the toilet that will allow you to go through with washers and plugs as well. You can also go through the back wall. So if you've got a metal floor or a ceramic or a stone floor and it's going to be difficult to actually screw through that, then you can actually mount it against the back wall. Also included is your power cables to run the fan. The fan is actually a 12-volt fan and uses just 1.6 watts, so it's very, very low draw. So what you get is 2 different power cables. You get the one that's good for 120 volts. You can plug it into a regular adapter or a regular receptacle at a cottage. Or if you're running off-grid, you can invert from 12 volts to 120 and then utilize this power adapter, and it just then plugs in the back of the toilet. The other thing that is also included is the 12-volt direct power cable, which allows you to either connect to a 12-volt battery or hardwire it into a 12-volt system. And again, it has the same plug that plugs in the back of the toilet. So very, very low draw and perfect for off-grid solar systems or just power in cottage country is usually pretty expensive, so it really does help to keep your costs down. The other nice feature of it is with this particular toilet is that you can actually run the piping, and rather than just venting out the wall, you can go out the wall and up and use a wind turbine if you absolutely have no power at all. So this toilet is an excellent choice pretty much for any situation, whether you've got 120, 12 volts, or no power, totally off-grid. So continuing on, we've got one other little thing. This is the little screen for the BioTab that's included with the toilet. And the BioTabs are little enzyme tabs that you can use in the urinal, and that gives you a little bit of a fresh scent, as well as the enzymes, when they're peed on, actually help keep the urea salts from building up in the urine line and keep it free flowing. Sorry. Also included are all the parts for the venting. So off the back of the toilet, you would put the 90-degree on, and that will allow you to either go straight out the back with the venting, left or right. If you don't use the 90 degree, the outlet actually is facing down, and you can actually go through the floor and then out if you're in a yurt or a situation where you don't want to go through the back wall. It's a great solution. So it comes with about 16 inches of the thin wall PVC pipe. It's 50 millimeters. It's thin wall. It looks nice and clean. Because the thin wall, the overall outside diameter is a little bit smaller, just allows you to vent in through some very tight spots. So that's included. You also have the outside vent with the bug screen. So this would go on the end of your pipe outside, and then you've got your cover that can be used either on the wall, on the side of a trailer or RV, or if you go out and then up, it's also a rain cap. So that's your venting terminal, which is the bug screen and the cover. Also included is an adapter that allows you to go from the 50 mil PVC metric pipe to 1.5 inch North American PVC pipe. So if you're in a situation where you're not just venting straight out and you need to vent out and up and you need more pipe, then you have the adapter that allows you to source that 1.5 inch PVC pretty much at any hardware store. So that's also included. And with the 90, you also get your rubber seal that allows you to give a nice seal with the vent pipe. Okay, so that's everything that you get with the venting side. You also do get a thing of tube of silicone, so that if you are having to put your pieces together, you've already got the silicone. Just as a pro tip, so if you are putting these pieces together, rather than putting the silicone on the inside of the fitting and the outside of the pipe and putting them together, rather than doing that, put your fittings together first and then just run a small bead of silicone around, and that will allow you to have a good seal. But if some time down in the future you're changing the flooring in your bathroom, or you need to remove the toilet for whatever reason, then you can just run a quick knife around it, and then your fittings will come apart and you'll be able to reuse them. So just a nice little tip there. Last, we have the fantastic little sample pack, and that gives you some of the samples of some of the parts that we've talked about. This is your bioenzyme tab that fits into the little holder here, and these are also available on our website to purchase down the road, but they do help keep the urine line from a buildup of urea salts. You also get the absorb pad. Some people like to use these because they do absorb any moisture that can get into the solids container. So basically you just drop it in and they sit on the bottom of the bag and they just help absorb any liquids. And then lastly, you've got your roll of 10 compostable bags. Again, these are great if you plan on composting or incinerating the solids, and they fit perfectly in the solids container. The nice thing about these particular bags is they are a little bit heavier, and so they don't break quite as easy, and just a little more heavy duty for the bin rather than kitchen bags. So lastly, we've got the installation manual that gives you all the details in terms of setting this toilet up and installing it in your bathroom, wherever that may be. So let's go in a little bit more detail inside the toilet, and we'll talk about how some of this stuff all goes and fits into the toilet. So we've got everything set up here so that we can show you exactly how some of these parts go into the toilet. So we'll open up the toilet, and it has a little click on the hinge so that it will stay open by itself. First in, we can show you exactly how to put the urine tank. You take the cap for the spout, you can make sure that that's sealed, and then that just goes right in and goes into the front of the toilet and fits in perfectly. The back of the toilet is for the solids. So you take your lid off. You want to make sure that your yellow rim is on there nice and firmly. This handy unit handle just allows you to put it straight in, and it just fits in perfectly. So that's how easy it is to put in the two containers. Also, you have the screen that opens automatically when you sit down, and that's easily installed right over top. You can see the hinges back here. The hinges just go over and snap down, and the flapper's in there and works perfectly. And every time you sit down, that flapper opens, and then when you stand up, it automatically closes. The last thing is the little part that goes into the urinal, and that holds your BioTab. And here we just have the basket for the BioTab that fits right in there, and your BioTab sits on top. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about what the parts that go on the inside of the toilet look like. Now we're going to talk about what's going on behind the toilet. There's really two main things that are happening back here. First, you've got your power adapter that you need to connect to the back of the toilet, and that simply just is a little plug that just goes in right there and allows you to connect your power. And that can either be the 120 volt adapter that we have here, or the 12 volt power cord that connects to a battery. The other thing is the venting. So you've got your vent pipe, you've got your external, and you've got your 90 that connects into the toilet. And so it's fairly easy to see where that vent pipe comes out and allows you to connect your 90-degree vent right in there. It's a nice strong rubber seal, and that allows you to go straight out behind the toilet. You can also go left, or you can go right. Either way, it gives you lots of options. If for some reason you don't want to go through the wall, you can absolutely go straight through the floor and connect it that way. So lots of options for venting. So the last thing that I want to talk to you about on the back of the toilet is this hole right here, and that's the hole for the urine outlet pipe. So this is the tiny 1270, which includes the internal urine tank, so it can be totally self-contained. However, you can also order the 1271 that rather than having the internal urine tank, it has a urine outlet pipe that wraps around the inside of the toilet and exits right here. And that'll allow you to connect to an external urine tank. We offer a 25-liter tank that can go outside, the ejector tank that allows you to utilize the urine for fertilization, or you can connect to a gray water tank, or as most people will just connect to a gravel leach bed. Thank you for watching this video. I think we've covered a lot about the tiny toilet, but if you need more information, please feel free to connect with us and go to CanadianEcoProducts.com or give us a call anytime. We'd be happy to talk to you. Thanks again for watching.